Put this on your calendar, March 10th. It's a super Saturday having to do with 4-H, and it's open to non-4-H members. Hello and welcome to WJTS in.form. Joining me in the studio is Jennifer Monarch-McGuire. Jennifer is the Youth Development Educator for Purdue Extension in Du Bois County. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Now you have an event coming up. It's the Super Saturday. What is it?
Well, I try to elaborate on it. It's Super Saturday hands-on project workshops. So it's just going to be a really fun day for kids to come engage in different projects and activities, get in and hands-on activities and just have a lot of fun and learn really about some different things that we do in 4-H.
Now, this is for 4-H members and non-4-H members.
Yes, all are welcome as long as you know you're a kid in grade 3 through 12. It can attend any of the workshops, and then grades K through 2 can attend certain workshops. Okay. So if you're in that age range, it doesn't matter if you're in 4-H or not, you can come.
So this is a day where the kids just spend the whole day at the 4-H fairgrounds? Is that where
yes,
it's? Yes,
it is at the fairgrounds. Yes, it's not quite the whole day, but it's a large portion of the day. So it starts at noon, and then it'll last until 5:30 until the last workshop ends. So. And
parents don't need to stay. If you bring a 10-year-old.
That's correct.
Okay.
Parents do not have to stay. I have gotten a few questions about parents and whether they can stay or should stay. Okay. Parents are always welcome to stay at our events. However, they do not have to stay. So it kind of depends, especially if you got like a younger kindergartner and you're not really sure what they're going to do in a workshop, maybe stay with them. But you do not have to stay. It's not a requirement for you to stay. Now, some parents also ask, like, for a certain workshop, would it be good for me to be in this workshop with my child? And especially the livestock ones we have, it might be, because a lot of times livestock is a family endeavor and not just that one member's doing it, so especially if it's a younger member. So sometimes that is helpful with the families getting the information along with their kid.
Okay, let's talk about the itinerary for the day. You have,
sure.
You have two separate workshops with a break in between. So let's talk about the day.
Okay, so we're doing something a little different this year. We're going to have lunch. So it starts at noon. So from noon to 12:30, we're going to be just checking people in and playing some games, getting to know you type of stuff. And then at 12:30 to 1, we're gonna have lunch there. So most likely pizza, but we can accommodate those who might have allergies and things like that. But yeah, we're gonna feed you, and then after that, we're gonna do some maker stations. So we have all kinds of makers items, which is really hands-on, kind of techie stuff, but some of it's just building and engineering, all kinds of activities like that. So we're going to have some stations in there for about an hour doing just makers, which is just really fun time for kids to engage hands-on in different cool items they might not normally see at home. And then after that, we'll start our first workshop. And for the workshops, when you sign up, you'll get to choose which one you go to. You can only go to one.
Okay.
This year, we are offering ATV safety as one, livestock, and it's called, that one is a little special. It's presented by a group from This Old Farm, and it's actually called an Oregon petting zoo. It sounds interesting, and we can explain more about that one in a little bit. And then we've got an electric workshop, and that's put on by someone from Du Bois REC. So that should be very good. And then we also have a sewing workshop, and that's put on by the Du Bois County Sewing Guild.
Okay.
So that's our first workshop.
And you choose one of those four to go to?
You choose one of those four, yes. So it kind of depends what you might be interested in, whether you're more interested in ATV safety, livestock, electric, or sewing. And if you don't know, just, pick one and explore. It'll be a fun time to just learn about something new. Then we'll have just a brief break, and then we'll go into a little poster making session, just kind of showing kids how to make a nice looking poster. Obviously this would be good for a 4-H poster project, but even for some of those non-4-H members that just don't want to join, you always have to do school projects and stuff, and it's good to know what you should do to make a good looking poster. And that's about 30 minutes, and then we go on to the second and final event of the day, and that's the second workshop. And for that, we will have our Youth for Quality Care of Animals, which is a new livestock training that is required for you to exhibit livestock in the 4-H program. So that's kind of fulfilling a requirement of a lot of livestock members. And then we'll have a recycling workshop, which recycling is a new project this year. So if you want to see what that's like and just kind of learn a little bit more about it, we have Carla Striegel from Solid Waste Management who's going to do that workshop. And then we have a painting workshop that is done by Heather from Studio H. So that should be fun as well. And then finally we have a metal craft workshop, which is focused on tin punch. Do you know what tin punch is?
Yeah, when you I think usually you do it with copper, isn't it?
It could be copper. We're going to probably be using pie pans for, just silver aluminum type pie pans to make designs with like a hammer and a nail and stuff to make little designs by punching the tin. So, and that is a club leader who's doing that one.
And these are projects that are kind of associated with 4-H projects, and some of them might be a prerequisite, you said. Okay.
Yeah, so YQCA, that is something that you're going to need if you're taking livestock in 4-H this year. So this is an opportunity to get that requirement done, but still enjoy a lot of the other events for the day. So.
And for someone who's a non-4-H member, if you pick one of these projects you're just interested in, you're going to learn something because that's really the whole point. That's the whole point of 4-H, but it's also the whole point of having kids.
Yes, and these are all things that you can learn about and do even if you're not in 4-H. I guess if you don't have livestock and have no interest in livestock, you probably wouldn't want to go to livestock presentations. But that doesn't, we've got electric sewing. I have to admit, I don't really know how to sew on a button. And that's a life skill that I really should know. So if you want to learn stuff like that, it would probably be a good idea to go to a sewing workshop. And that is a life skill that all girls and boys should would need to know. So, don't be thinking, well, this is just for girls or this is just for boys. Anyone can attend any of the workshops.
Okay, you just choose one event in each of those 2 workshops.
Correct.
Let's go back to the organ petting zoo.
Yes.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, so this is a really cool thing. We've actually got a group coming from Colfax, Indiana. And basically, they're going to be showing up. They are a processing center, so they take animals and they process them, and then you can buy meat from them and things like that. So, and that's obviously going to be a very important part of families raising livestock to understand, what's happening with their animals and what their animals look like, and how the way they raise them can affect the meat that animal produces. So this group is actually bringing different animal parts, if you will, so organs, like if they might bring a liver and show, well, okay, if you don't feed your animal antibiotics, what does that liver look like versus someone who fed them antibiotics right before they were processed, and how does that impact the quality of meat that they might be receiving. So they would actually get to see and even touch some of these things and kind of learn a little bit more about why it's important to raise your animal certain ways.
And this is all on Saturday, March 10th.
Yes.
But you need people to register ahead of time because you're having meals and you need to plan for supplies.
Right. So March 7th would be when we need people to register. That's a Wednesday. We do have a registration link online. I don't have that right in front of me, but you can also, if you don't see our stuff online, if you would like to just call our office to sign up, you can do that as well.
Okay. And that's 812?
482-1782.
Okay, and to find out more information too, can I register by just calling and saying, hey, I don't have time to fill out?
Sure.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll just have to ask you a series of questions that are featured in our registration link online, and just to make sure we get all those questions answered, and you should receive confirmation emails and everything like that to show you're good to go.
Sounds like a great program for kids. And you said
It
grades
really
3 through 12.
Great. Okay, so every workshop is open to grades 3 through 12, which is our traditional 4-H audience. However, there are certain workshops that are also available to grades K through 2. So, the electric workshop, I believe he was open to having kindergarten through 2nd grade in that one, so that one's open to it. ATV safety is also open to K through 2. The organ petting zoo, also open to K through 2, because I know a lot of those younger kids are still involved in that, and that is a group coming from Colfax, Indiana, so we really want to make sure there's a lot of people involved in their workshop to make it worth their while to come here.
And there is a registration fee because they're getting a meal and all kinds of supplies.
Yes, and to help pay for a lot of these things. So there is a $15 registration fee, and that, again, that includes lunch, and then that includes, if you're attending the painting workshop, well, we got to pay for your canvas and your paint and all of that. So that includes all of those costs as well.
And so the painting workshop's painting a picture. Like an acrylic picture
or
oil
design, yes.
Okay.
Look, it's by Studio H, so she will kind of go through and show you what you're going to be painting and kind of give you directions. But just like if you ever go to a painting place, you kind of have freedom to make it your own. Use a different color or design it a little differently. But yeah, so she will be kind of guiding you through that process.
And it runs on Saturday, March 10th, from noon
until 5:30.
Noon until 5:30. Okay.
Until 5:30.
What if somebody forgets to register?
I'm going to say please register. It's
sure.
going to be really important. I mean, I can't guarantee you that we'll have enough supplies for you or we'll have food for you or anything like that. So it's going to be really important for you to register by March 7th, if at all possible. That also could impact, if some of these workshops don't have enough people, they could get canceled. So we need you to register.
Okay, so please register. And remember, this is for 4-H members and non-4-H members. It's a great way for somebody who's thought about 4-H to kind of try it out.
Right,
Kind of get an
or
idea what
maybe
it's like.
even some people who, you just don't have time for 4-H, but it interests you. This is a great way to just kind of experience it and get involved, and you can even learn how to do some of these activities at home. But really, there's no reason not to join. Like for painting, you might be able to do your project right there at this event, and then take that to the fair. So no reason not to join 4-H. Because we don't have time commitments or anything like that you have to go to.
Okay, so check out your link online, or call your office 812-482-1782
Correct.
to register.
Correct.
Or stop in the office and register that way as well.
Yes.
And you can pay in advance if you'd like, or you can pay that day at the door.
Right. We just, if something happens and you've registered and then you can't go, please let us know. That way we can, adjust the amount of supplies and stuff that we order. Because, in the past we've had some people sign up and then not go, and then that really hurts our...
Sure.
We're a nonprofit, so we don't want to lose out money on an event like this. We're trying to help the kids and stuff. So just if something happens, you can't go, please let us know.
Jennifer, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much, Bill.
All right, so kids or parents of kids or grandparents of kids, get the kids to go to the Super Saturday being put on by the Du Bois County Extension Office. We have had as our guest Jennifer Monarch-McGuire. She is a youth development educator for Purdue Extension in this county. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. Remember, the deadline to register is March 7th by calling their office. Thanks for watching. We're local people watching local people, WJTS.